First contact and hidden allies. The vast expanse of space stretched before Captain Alina Reyes as she stood on the bridge of the UES Horizon, Earth's most advanced exploration vessel. The ship's sleek design and state-of-the-art technology represented humanity's first serious foray into deep space. As they pushed further into the unknown, Alina couldn't shake the feeling that everything was about to change. "Captain, we're picking up an anomalous energy signature," reported Lieutenant Kira Chen, her eyes fixed on the sensor readouts. "It's unlike anything we've encountered before." Alina leaned forward, her curiosity piqued. "On screen, Lieutenant." The main view screen flickered to life, revealing a shimmering distortion in space. As they watched, the distortion coalesced into a massive ship, its hull gleaming with an otherworldly iridescence. "My God," whispered Commander Jack Foster, Alina's second-in-command. "Is that what I think it is?" Alina nodded, her heart racing. First contact. The alien vessel dwarfed the horizon, its design a mesmerizing blend of organic curves and crystalline structures. As the crew stared in awe, a communication request pinged on their console. "They're hailing us," Kira announced, her voice trembling with excitement. Alina took a deep breath, squaring her shoulders. "Open a channel." The view screen changed, revealing a being that defied easy description. Its body seemed to shimmer and shift, with multiple limbs that appeared and disappeared at will. Two large, opalescent eyes regarded the human crew with unmistakable intelligence. "Greetings, explorers from Earth," the alien spoke, its voice resonating directly in their minds. "We are the Zarthurians. We have long awaited this moment." Alina stepped forward, her training kicking in despite her amazement. "I am Captain Alina Reyes of the United Earthship Horizon. We come in peace and friendship." The Zarthurian's form rippled, conveying what Alina sensed was approval. "Your arrival is fortuitous, Captain Reyes. We have much to discuss, and time is of the essence." Over the next few hours, the Zarthurian emissary, who introduced itself as Silith, shared a tale that left the human crew reeling. The galaxy, it seemed, was not the empty expanse humanity had imagined. It teemed with life, civilizations spanning thousands of worlds. But with that diversity came conflict, and a looming threat that made Alina's blood run cold. "The Krax Empire," Silith explained, projecting images of fearsome, insectoid creatures and their world-destroying weapons. "They seek to dominate all sentient life, assimilating or annihilating any who stand in their way. For centuries, we have held them at bay, but our resources dwindle. We need allies, Captain Reyes. We need humanity." Alina exchanged glances with her senior staff, their expressions mirroring her own mix of fear and determination. "Why us?" she asked. "Surely there are more advanced civilizations that could help." Helith's form shimmered with what Alina interpreted as admiration. "You underestimate yourselves. We have observed your species for some time. Your adaptability, your ingenuity, your indomitable spirit. These are qualities the Krax cannot comprehend and therefore cannot counter. With our technology and your unique abilities, we may yet turn the tide." The implications were staggering. Humanity, barely able to reach its own solar system's edge, thrust into an interstellar conflict. Yet as Alina looked at her crew, she saw not fear, but resolve. "We'll need to contact Earth," Alina said. "This decision is beyond my authority." Helith's form pulsed with urgency. "We understand, but we must ask for discretion. The Krax have spies everywhere. If they learn of our alliance before we are ready, all will be lost." Alina nodded, her mind racing. "We'll find a way to communicate securely. In the meantime, perhaps you could show us more about this threat we face." As the Horizon and the Zarthurian ship linked systems, floods of data poured in. The crew worked tirelessly, analyzing battle reports, technological schematics, and cultural information. Alina marveled at the Zarthurians' advanced science, recognizing the potential it held for humanity's advancement. Days stretched into weeks as they waited for a response from Earth. The crew trained with Zarthurian simulations, their minds expanding to encompass the scale of the conflict they faced. When the encrypted message finally came, it was short and to the point. Alliance approved. Proceed with caution. Project designation: Nexus. With Earth's blessing, Elena and Tylith began to forge an unprecedented partnership. The Horizon's holds were soon filled with Zarthurian technology, each piece carefully selected to complement human ingenuity without overwhelming their development. Your ship will be the first, Tylith explained as they oversaw the installations, a test bed for our combined strengths. If successful, we will expand the program, preparing your world for what is to come. As Elena watched her crew work alongside the shimmering forms of the Zarthurians, she felt a swell of pride. Humanity had dreamed of this moment for centuries, contact with an alien civilization. But no one had imagined it quite like this. How long do we have? Elena asked, her voice low. Before the cracks become a direct threat to Earth. Tylith's form darkened, a clear sign of concern. It is difficult to say. The cracks are methodical in their expansion. But once they set their sights on a system, their advance is relentless. We estimate no more than 5 of your Earth years before they reach your sector. Elena's jaw tightened. 5 years to prepare for an enemy that had conquered countless worlds. The task seemed impossible, yet she felt a fierce determination rising within her. Then we have work to do, she said, her voice ringing with conviction. Let's show the galaxy what humanity is capable of. As the Horizon prepared to return to Earth, its holds laden with secrets that would change the course of human history, Elena gazed out at the stars. The universe had suddenly become much larger, much more dangerous, but also filled with untold possibilities. The journey home would be long, but Elena knew it was just the beginning. Humanity was about to take its first steps onto a galactic stage, armed with determination, new allies, and a burning desire to prove itself among the stars. Little did they know, their actions had already sent ripples through the cosmic web of politics and power. In the shadows of distant worlds, eyes turned toward Earth, some with curiosity, others with growing concern. The balance was shifting, and humanity was the wild card no one had anticipated. As the Horizon vanished into the depths of space, Tylith sent a final message to its people. The pieces are in motion. May the cosmos favor our gambit. The stage was set. The greatest challenge in human history was about to begin. Project Nexus. The cavernous underground facility hummed with activity as Dr. Samantha Chen pored over the holographic display before her. 2 years had passed since the UES Horizon's return, and Project Nexus was in full swing. The secret base, buried deep beneath the Rockies, housed Earth's brightest minds working alongside Zarthurian advisors. Dr. Chen. A familiar voice called out. Samantha looked up to see Captain Elena Reyes, now Admiral, approaching. How's our latest prototype coming along? Samantha gestured to the swirling hologram. It's promising, Admiral. The Zarthurian phase shift technology is finally integrating smoothly with our weapon systems. If our simulations are correct, these cannons will be able to bypass crack shields entirely. Elena nodded, her expression a mix of satisfaction and concern. Good. We'll need every advantage we can get. The latest intelligence suggests the cracks are moving faster than we anticipated. As if on cue, alarms blared throughout the facility. Red lights pulsed, and personnel rushed to their stations. Elena and Samantha exchanged worried glances before sprinting to the command center. Commander Jack Foster, now head of Earth's new Interstellar Intelligence Division, was waiting for them. His face was grim as he brought up a holographic star map. We've just received word from our Zarthurian allies, he began without preamble. The cracks have launched a major offensive in the Andromeda's edge sector. They've overrun 3 systems in the past week alone. Elena's eyes narrowed as she studied the map. That's too close for comfort. How long before they reach Earth? Jack's expression darkened. At their current rate of expansion, 18 months, 2 years, tops. The room fell silent as the weight of his words sank in. They had hoped for 5 years, but now their timeline had been cut drastically short. Samantha was the first to break the silence. "We're not ready. The fleet is only at 60% capacity, and we're still ironing out issues with the new tech." Elena straightened, her voice filled with determination. "Then we'll have to get ready. Fast. Jack, contact the Zarthurians. We need to accelerate our training program. Sam, I want your teams working round the clock on those prototypes. If we can't match the cracks in numbers, we'll have to outsmart them." As the command center erupted into action, Elena felt the familiar weight of responsibility settling on her shoulders. She thought back to that fateful day on the horizon, when humanity first learned it wasn't alone in the universe. How naive they had been, how unprepared for the brutal reality of galactic politics. Over the next few months, Project Nexus kicked into high gear. The secret shipyards orbiting Jupiter worked tirelessly, churning out vessels that melded human ingenuity with Zarthurian technology. Each ship was a testament to the unlikely alliance, sleek, powerful, and unlike anything the galaxy had seen before. On Earth, the situation was tense. While the general public remained unaware of the looming threat, governments worldwide had been briefed on the crack's menace. Resources poured into the project, with the world's economies restructuring around the urgent need for defense. In the depths of the Nexus facility, Samantha and her team achieved breakthrough after breakthrough. Weapons capable of disrupting crack's neural networks, shields that adapted to enemy fire patterns, and propulsion systems that bent the very fabric of spacetime. But it wasn't just about technology. Human pilots trained in advanced simulators, their minds linked with Zarthurian AIs to enhance their reflexes and decision-making. Special Forces units underwent grueling exercises, preparing for the possibility of ground combat against the insectoid crack's warriors. As the months wore on, tension mounted. The crack's advance continued unabated, with system after system falling to their relentless assault. The Zarthurians, once a mighty civilization, found themselves pushed to the brink, relying more and more on their human allies. It was during this critical period that Elena received an unexpected visitor. As she entered her office one morning, she found Sylith waiting for her, the Zarthurian's form shimmering with anxiety. "Admiral Reyes." Sylith's thoughts resonated in her mind. "We have a situation." Elena's heart sank. "What is it?" "The Galactic Council has called an emergency session," Sylith explained. "They're demanding explanations for the sudden technological leaps in this sector. Our alliance, it may not remain secret for much longer." Elena frowned. They had known this day might come, but they had hoped for more time. "What are our options?" Haleth's form rippled uncertainly. "We could attempt to deflect their inquiries, but doing so may alienate potential allies. The other possibility is to reveal everything," Elena finished. "To ask for the Council's support against the cracks. It is a risk," Sylith admitted. "The Council has long maintained a policy of non-intervention in regional conflicts. They may view the cracks as a local threat, not a galactic one." Elena paced the room, her mind racing. "But if we don't get their support, and the cracks overrun this sector, then the Council will have a much bigger problem on their hands." Sylith agreed. After a moment of contemplation, Elena made her decision. "We'll address the Council. It's time the galaxy understood what's at stake. But first, we need to show them what we're capable of." Over the next week, final preparations were made. The prototype fleet, hidden in the shadow of Jupiter, was brought to full combat readiness. On Earth, military forces were placed on high alert, ready to reveal themselves to a public that had no idea of the storm that was coming. As the day of the Council session approached, Elena stood on the bridge of the UES Defiant, the most advanced warship ever produced by human hands. Around her, a fleet of 50 ships waited, each a fusion of human and Zarthurian design. All ships reporting ready, Admiral, Commander Foster announced from his station. Elena nodded, her gaze fixed on the swirling wormhole that would take them to the Galactic Council's neutral space. In a few short hours, humanity would announce its presence on the galactic stage in a way no one could ignore. "Send the signal to Earth," she ordered. "It's time to tell the world the truth." As the fleet prepared to depart, news broadcasts across Earth were interrupted. Presidents, prime ministers, and monarchs addressed their nations simultaneously, revealing the existence of alien life, the Krax threat, and humanity's secret preparations for war. Panic and disbelief swept across the globe, but as the initial shock wore off, a new sentiment began to emerge: determination. Humanity had faced extinction before, had overcome impossible odds. They would do so again, united as never before. As the Defiant led the fleet into the wormhole, Elena felt a mix of fear and exhilaration. They were about to change the course of galactic history, for better or worse. Arrival at Council space in T-minus 60 seconds, the ship's AI announced. Elena took a deep breath, straightening her uniform. Whatever happened next, one thing was certain: the galaxy was about to learn that humanity was a force to be reckoned with. The wormhole's exit loomed ahead, a swirling vortex of light and energy. As they emerged on the other side, the breathtaking sight of the Galactic Council station filled the view screen. Thousands of ships from hundreds of species surrounded the massive structure. "This is Admiral Elena Reyes of Earth," she broadcast on all frequencies. "We come seeking alliance against a threat that endangers us all. The Krax Empire must be stopped, and humanity stands ready to do its part." As the human fleet took up position, their advanced technology on full display, a hush fell over the assembled alien armadas. The next few moments would determine the fate of not just humanity, but the entire galaxy. The stage was set for a confrontation that would echo through the cosmos for millennia to come. The Battle of Andromeda's Edge. The tension in the Galactic Council chamber was palpable as Admiral Elena Reyes concluded her address. The assembled representatives of 1,000 worlds sat in stunned silence, processing the revelation of humanity's secret alliance with the Zarthurians and the true extent of the Krax threat. "We stand at a crossroads," Elena's voice rang out, firm and resolute. "The Krax Empire advances unchecked, consuming world after world. United, we have a chance to stop them. Divided, we fall one by one." Before the Council could respond, alarms blared throughout the station. A harried aide rushed to the Arbiter, the Council's leader, whispering urgently in their ear. The Arbiter's multiple eyes widened in shock. "We've just received word," they announced, their translator struggling to convey their dismay. "The Krax have launched a massive assault on the Andromeda's Edge sector. The Nelvarian system is under attack." Murmurs of fear rippled through the chamber. The Nelvarians, a peaceful race of philosophers and artists, had long been under the Council's protection. Their fall would be a devastating blow, both strategically and morally. Elena exchanged a quick glance with Tyleth, whom nodded almost imperceptibly. This was the moment they had prepared for. "Honorable Arbiter," Elena stepped forward, her voice cutting through the chaos. "The Earth fleet stands ready to assist. Allow us to prove our worth as allies in this fight." The Battle of Andromeda's Edge. The tension in the Galactic Council chamber was palpable as Admiral Elena Reyes concluded her address. The assembled representatives of 1,000 worlds sat in stunned silence, processing the revelation of humanity's secret alliance with the Zarthurians and the true extent of the Krax threat. "We stand at a crossroads," Elena's voice rang out, firm and resolute. "The Krax Empire advances unchecked, consuming world after world. United, we have a chance to stop them. Divided, we fall one by one." Before the Council could respond, alarms blared throughout the station. A harried aide rushed to the Arbiter, the Council's leader, whispering urgently in their ear. The Arbiter's multiple eyes widened in shock. "We've just received word," they announced, their translator struggling to convey their dismay. The Cracks have launched a massive assault on the Andromeda's edge sector. The Nelvarian system is under attack. Murmurs of fear rippled through the chamber. The Nelvarians, a peaceful race of philosophers and artists, had long been under the Council's protection. Their fall would be a devastating blow, both strategically and morally. Elena exchanged a quick glance with Tyleth, whom nodded almost imperceptibly. This was the moment they had prepared for. Honorable Arbiter, Elena stepped forward, her voice cutting through the chaos. The Earth fleet stands ready to assist. Allow us to prove our worth as allies in this fight. The Arbiter hesitated, centuries of non-interventionist policy warring with the urgent need for action. Finally, they nodded. Very well, Admiral Reyes. The Council provisionally accepts your offer of assistance. Go, and may fortune favor your endeavor. Within minutes, Elena was back aboard the UES Defiant, barking orders as the human fleet prepared for battle. Around them, ships from other races scrambled to form up, but it was clear they were unprepared for such a sudden conflict. Status report, Elena demanded as they entered warp. Commander Foster's fingers flew over his console. Crack's fleet outnumbers defenders 3-1. Nelvarain orbital defenses are failing. Ground invasion has begun in the southern continent. Helena's jaw tightened. Time to arrival. 15 minutes. Admiral. The Nelvarians don't have 15 minutes. Tyleth's thoughts resonated with urgency. Elena nodded grimly. Initiate Operation Thunderbolt. Throughout the fleet, specially trained humans Arthurian hybrid teams entered phase shift pods. In a flash of quantum entanglement, they vanished, reappearing instantaneously in the Nelvarain system. On the Defiant's view screen, the battle unfolded in real time. Massive Cracks dreadnoughts pounded the Nelvarain defenses, while swarms of smaller craft descended to the planet's surface. The defending ships, a mix of Nelvarain and Council vessels, fought valiantly, but were clearly outmatched. Suddenly, space itself seemed to ripple as the human phase shift teams arrived. Small, agile craft piloted by humans, but built with Zarthurian tech, they bypassed the Cracks' outer defenses entirely, appearing inside their formation. All ships, execute attack pattern Omega, Elena commanded. Concentrate fire on their command ships. Let's give the defenders some breathing room. The battle that followed would be remembered for generations as one of the most audacious military maneuvers in galactic history. Human pilots, their reflexes enhanced by Zarthurian neural links, danced between Crack ships with impossible agility. Prototype weapons, the product of 2 years of intensive research, tore through Crack shields like paper. On the planet's surface, human drop pods landed amidst the chaos of the Crack's ground invasion. Special Forces teams, armed with experimental weaponry, engaged the insectoid warriors in close-quarters combat. Their adaptability and unconventional tactics caught the Cracks completely off guard. As the main body of the Earth fleet arrived, Elena wasted no time in pressing their advantage. All ships, form up on the Defiant. Prepare to execute the hammer and anvil. The human ships moved with practiced precision, herding the disorganized Cracks fleet towards a nearby asteroid field. As the enemy ships were forced into the treacherous terrain, the true trap was sprung. Hidden among the asteroids were dozens of stealth platforms, but joint human-Zarthurian design. They activated simultaneously, generating a massive gravity well that caught the Cracks ships in its grip. All ships, open fire. Elena's order rang out across the fleet. The space around the Cracks armada erupted in a dazzling display of destructive power. Plasma beams, quantum torpedoes, and weapons beyond the understanding of most races converged on the trapped enemy. Cracks ships, once thought invincible, crumbled under the onslaught. On the Defiance bridge, Elena watched the battle unfold with a mixture of pride and grim determination. They were winning, but the cost was high. Several human ships had fallen, their crews making the ultimate sacrifice to protect a world they had never seen. As the last Cracks dreadnought exploded in a brilliant fireball, a cheer went up across the fleet. The Battle of Andromeda's Edge was over. Humanity had arrived on the galactic stage in spectacular fashion. In the aftermath, as rescue operations began and the true extent of the victory became clear, Alina received a priority communication from Earth. President Yara Chin's face appeared on the view screen, her expression a mix of relief and concern. "Admiral Reyes, congratulations on your victory," the president began. "You've done humanity proud, but I'm afraid your job is far from over." Alina straightened, sensing the weight behind the president's words. "What's happened?" "The Galactic Council is in uproar," President Chen explained. "Your actions, while heroic, have shattered centuries of political balance. Some are calling for an immediate alliance with Earth. Others," she paused, her expression darkening, "others are suggesting we might be an even greater threat than the cracks." Alina's mind raced, considering the implications. They had known their revelation would cause shockwaves, but the speed at which events were unfolding was unexpected. "What are your orders, Madam President?" President Chen's gaze was steely. "Return to the Council, Admiral. It's time to forge the alliances we'll need to win this war. And Alina," she added, her tone softening slightly, "be prepared for anything. We've stepped onto a much larger stage, and not everyone will welcome our presence." As the communication ended, Alina turned to look out at the vast expanse of space. The Nelvarane system was safe for now, but she knew this was just the beginning. The cracks would regroup, would come back stronger. And now, humanity had to navigate the treacherous waters of galactic politics. "Helm, set a course back to the Council station," she ordered. "It's time to see if we've made allies or enemies today." As the Earth fleet regrouped, tending to their wounded and repairing battle damage, news of their victory spread across the galaxy at FTL speeds. On countless worlds, beings of all shapes and sizes watched in awe as footage of the battle was broadcast. Humanity, the upstart race from a backwater planet, had done the impossible. They had stopped the cracks. As the Defiant led the fleet back towards the Council, Alina knew that the real challenge was just beginning. The galaxy was watching, waiting to see what humanity would do next. The battle was won, but the war, both against the cracks and for humanity's place in the galactic community, was far from over. Galactic Council intervention. The Grand Chamber of the Galactic Council was in chaos. Representatives from hundreds of worlds shouted over each other, their translators struggling to keep up with the cacophony of alien languages. At the center of the storm stood Admiral Alina Reyes, her uniform still bearing scorch marks from the Battle of Andromeda's Edge. "Order. We will have order." The Arbiter's voice boomed through the chamber, finally silencing the tumult. All eyes turned to the raised dais where the Council's ruling body sat. "Admiral Reyes," the Arbiter began, their compound eyes fixed on Alina. "Your actions at Nelvaria were unprecedented. You have saved billions of lives, yet in doing so, you have upset the delicate balance we have maintained for millennia." Alina stepped forward, her posture straight and confident. "With respect, Arbiter, that balance was already upset. The cracks straight." "The cracks," interrupted Counselor Zextra, a being of pure energy contained within a crystalline matrix, "have been a known factor for centuries. We have managed their expansion through diplomacy and calculated concessions." "Concessions?" Alina's voice was sharp. "You mean sacrificing innocent worlds to appease them?" A murmur rippled through the chamber. Many representatives shifted uncomfortably, aware of the truth in her words. The Arbiter raised a limb for silence. "What the Admiral fails to understand is the complexity of galactic politics. The Cracks Empire, while brutal, has been a known quantity. Humanity, on the other hand." They paused, their gaze sweeping the room. "Humanity is an unknown variable. Your rapid technological advancement, your alliance with the Zarthurians, your willingness to intervene in conflicts not your own. These factors make you potentially more dangerous than the cracks." Alina felt a chill run down her spine. This was what they had feared. that in proving their worth as allies, they might be seen as an even greater threat. "We did not come here to conquer," Alina said, her voice carrying to every corner of the chamber. "We came here to survive, and to help others do the same. The cracks would see every sentient species in this galaxy either subjugated or exterminated. We offer a different path, one of cooperation, of standing together against a common enemy." As she spoke, Alina noticed a shift in the room. Some representatives nodded in agreement, while others huddled together, whispering urgently. Councillor Lyrith, a towering being of living crystal, spoke next. "Your words are noble, Admiral, but can you back them with action? How do we know humanity won't simply become the next cracks, using your advanced technology to dominate others?" Before Alina could respond, an unexpected voice rang out. "I can vouch for humanity's intentions." All eyes turned to see Xylith floating forward, its Zarthurian form shimmering with determination. "For 2 of your galactic standard years, we have worked alongside the humans," Xylith continued. "We have seen their courage, their ingenuity, and yes, their capacity for violence. But we have also seen their compassion, their willingness to risk everything to save others. The Zarthurian collective stands with humanity." A buzz of excited conversation filled the chamber. The Zarthurians, known for their neutrality and advanced technology, had just thrown their full support behind humanity. Sensing the shifting mood, Alina pressed her advantage. "We don't ask you to blindly trust us. We ask for the opportunity to prove ourselves as allies. The cracks will return, stronger than ever. They will not stop until every free world in this galaxy burns. Together, we have a chance to stop them. Divided, we fall." The Arbiter was silent for a long moment, conferring quietly with the other council members. Finally, they spoke. "Admiral Rice, your actions have forced our hand. We cannot ignore the cracks' threat any longer, nor can we dismiss the potential humanity represents." The Arbiter's voice took on a formal tone. "By the authority vested in us by the Galactic Compact, we hereby recognize Earth as a probationary member of the Galactic Council." A cheer went up from some sections of the chamber, while others remained silent, wary of this new development. Furthermore, the Arbiter continued, "We sanction the formation of a joint task force to address the cracks threat. This force will be led jointly by Earth and the Zarthurian Collective, with oversight from the Council." Alina felt a weight lift from her shoulders. It wasn't everything they had hoped for, but it was a start. As the session adjourned, representatives swarmed around Alina, some offering congratulations, others thinly veiled warnings. Through it all, she maintained her composure, acutely aware that every word, every gesture was being scrutinized. Hours later, exhausted but triumphant, Alina returned to the Defiant. As she entered her ready room, she found a secure communication waiting from President Chen. "Well done, Admiral," the President said, her relief evident even across light years. "You've given us the foothold we needed, but be warned, the real work is just beginning." Alina nodded grimly. "The cracks. They've gone dark," President Chen confirmed. "Our intelligence suggests they're regrouping, possibly for a major offensive, but that's not our only concern." The President's image was replaced by a star map, showing a section of the galaxy far from Earth. "We're picking up unusual energy signatures from this region. It doesn't match any known technology, cracks, Zarthurian, or otherwise." Alina leaned in, studying the map. "A new player? Possibly. Or an old one we haven't met yet. I need you to take a small task force and investigate. Quietly. We can't risk antagonizing the Council or tipping our hand to the cracks." "Understood, Madam President. We'll depart immediately." As the communication ended, Alina stared out at the stars, her mind racing. They had won a great victory, both on the battlefield and in the political arena. But she couldn't shake the feeling that they had only scratched the surface of the challenges that lay ahead. The galaxy was vast, filled with wonders and terrors beyond imagination. Humanity had taken its first steps into this larger universe, but the path ahead was fraught with danger. As she issued orders for the new mission, Alina allowed herself a small smile. Whatever was waiting for them out there in the dark between the stars, humanity would face it head-on. They had proven themselves on the galactic stage, and they would continue to do so, no matter the odds. The Defiant's engines hummed to life, ready to carry them into the unknown. The next chapter of humanity's journey among the stars was about to begin, and Alina Rice was determined to see it through, no matter the cost. A new era dawns. The UEA's Defiant sliced through the void, leading a small task force of Earth's most advanced ships. Admiral Alina Rice stood on the bridge, her eyes fixed on the swirling patterns of FTL space visible through the viewscreen. They were venturing into uncharted territory, following the trail of mysterious energy signatures detected on the fringes of known space. "Status report," Alina commanded, her voice steady despite the tension that hung in the air. Commander Foster looked up from his console. "We're approaching the source of the energy signatures, Admiral. ETA 5 minutes." Alina nodded, her mind racing through possible scenarios. After their victory at Andromeda's edge and the political maneuvering in the Galactic Council, this mission felt like a leap into the unknown. Whatever they found here could tip the delicate balance they had worked so hard to establish. As the ships dropped out of FTL, a collective gasp echoed across the bridge. Before them loomed a massive structure, unlike anything they had ever seen. It was a sprawling network of interconnected rings, each easily the size of a small moon, pulsing with energy that defied their sensors' ability to categorize. "My God," whispered Dr. Samantha Chen, who had insisted on joining the mission. "It's beautiful." Alina couldn't disagree, but years of experience had taught her that beauty and danger often went hand in hand in space. "Full scan. I want to know what we're dealing with here." As the crew worked feverishly to analyze the structure, a notification chimed on Alina's personal comm. It was a priority message from Xylith, encrypted at the highest level. The Zarthurian's thoughts filled Alina's mind as she accessed the message. "Admiral Rice, we have grave news. Our deep cover operatives have uncovered the Krax's next move. They're not just regrouping. They're gathering a fleet large enough to overwhelm multiple sectors simultaneously. Their target? Earth." Alina's blood ran cold. They had known the Krax would retaliate, but the scale of this response was beyond anything they had anticipated. Before she could fully process this information, alarms blared across the bridge. "Admiral," Foster called out, his voice urgent. "The structure. It's activating." The massive rings began to spin, energy arcing between them in dazzling displays of light. At the center, a swirling vortex began to form, growing larger with each passing second. "It's some kind of portal," Dr. Chen exclaimed, her eyes wide with a mixture of fear and scientific excitement. "The energy readings, they're off the charts." As the crew watched in awe, a ship emerged from the vortex. Then another, and another. Soon, a fleet of vessels unlike anything they had ever seen filled the space around the structure. Their design was organic yet mechanical, as if grown rather than built. A communication request pinged on their system. Alina hesitated for just a moment before nodding to Foster. "Open a channel." The view screen flickered to life, revealing a being that defied easy description. It seemed to shift and change even as they watched, its form adapting moment by moment. "Greetings, children of Earth," the being spoke, its voice resonating directly in their minds, much like the Zarthurians. "We are the architects. We have watched your struggles, your triumphs, your emergence onto the galactic stage. The time has come for us to meet." Alina stepped forward, her training kicking in despite her amazement. "I am Admiral Alina Rice of Earth. We come in peace and friendship. But I must ask, why now? Why reveal yourselves at this moment?" The being, the architect, seemed to smile, though it was hard to tell given its ever-changing form. "The balance has shifted, Admiral Rice. For eons, we have watched civilizations rise and fall, always maintaining the equilibrium of the galaxy. But now, with the cracks threat growing and your own species' rapid advancement, a new approach is needed. As the architect spoke, Alina's mind raced. The implications were staggering. A race capable of building structures like this, of traversing the galaxy at will. They could be the key to stopping the cracks once and for all. The cracks are preparing a massive assault on Earth, Alina said, deciding to lay all her cards on the table. We need allies, technology, anything that can help us stop them. The architect's form rippled, conveying what Alina sensed was deep thought. The cracks are but a symptom of a larger problem. Admiral, the galaxy has grown stagnant, with older races clinging to power and younger ones held back from their true potential. Your arrival has disrupted this stagnation. For better or worse remains to be seen. Alina felt a surge of frustration. With all due respect, we don't have time for philosophical discussions. Billions of lives are at stake. Indeed they are, the architect agreed. Which is why we propose a solution that addresses not just the immediate threat, but the long-term stability of the galaxy. With a gesture, the architect brought up a holographic display that filled the bridge. It showed a network of structures similar to the one they had found, spread across the galaxy. These are nexus points, the architect explained, gateways that allow for instantaneous travel across vast distances. We offer you access to this network, Admiral Reyes. With it, you can mobilize forces to defend not just Earth, but any world threatened by the cracks. The implications were staggering. Such a network would revolutionize warfare, trade, exploration, every aspect of galactic civilization. But Alina was a soldier, trained to look for the catch. And what do you ask in return? She questioned, her voice wary. The architect's form solidified slightly, taking on a more humanoid appearance. We ask that humanity takes its place as guardians of the galaxy, not conquerors, not rulers, but protectors. You have shown the potential to bridge the gap between the old and the new. With our guidance and your spirit, a new era of peace and prosperity is possible. Helena exchanged glances with her crew, seeing her own mix of hope and skepticism reflected in their eyes. It seemed too good to be true, yet the opportunity was too great to ignore. I'll need to consult with my government, Helena said carefully, and with the Galactic Council. This decision affects all of us. The architect nodded, its form already beginning to shift again. Of course. But know this, Admiral Reyes. The offer stands only as long as there is a galaxy left to save. The cracks move even now. Time is not on your side. As the communication ended, Alina turned to her crew. Set a course back to Earth, maximum speed, and get me a secure line to President Chen and the Council. It looks like the galaxy's just gotten a lot bigger and a lot more complicated. As the Defiant and its task force prepared to depart, Alina gazed out at the massive nexus structure once more. They had come seeking answers and found themselves faced with even greater questions. The fate of not just humanity, but the entire galaxy now hung in the balance. The cracks were coming, but for the first time since learning of the threat, Alina felt a glimmer of real hope. Humanity had proven itself on the battlefield and in the political arena. Now they faced their greatest challenge yet, becoming the protectors of a galaxy that had, until recently, not even known they existed. As the ships jumped to FTL, Alina allowed herself a small smile. Whatever the future held, one thing was certain: humanity's journey among the stars was far from over. In fact, it was just beginning. The galaxy watched and waited, holding its collective breath. The age of humanity had dawned, and the universe would never be the same.